Hello guys, welcome to Python list tutorial. In this tutorial we're gonna cover everything about Python list, and you can download the Jupyter notebook for your hands-on. So I have given the link in description box for Jupyter notebook. In case you are using any other platform like PyCharm, you can run all the codes in PyCharm or any other platform as well. So these are the contents of the tutorial. Please pause the video for a while and go through the contents. I'll go to Jupyter notebook right away and start creating Python list. We're gonna cover all the operations, all the required things, and all the important topics of Python list which are being asked in interview as well. We're gonna cover that as well. Okay, so make sure you download the Jupyter notebook for your hands-on, and let's go to Jupyter notebook for creating Python list. Alright, so here I am on Python list Jupyter notebook, and the very first question is, what is Python list? So Python list is collection of objects. Now what do I mean by collection of objects? You might have created many variables in Python, so like a equal to 1 or name equal to Sumit. So these kinds of variable you have already created in Python, right? But now I want to create a variable in Python, and list is a variable, of course. Okay, I want to create a variable which can hold more than one value. Okay, so let me say that I want to create a variable which holds some name of colors. Okay, so let's say blue, black, orange, okay, red and green. These are some colors name which I want to store in the single variable. Okay, and you can see all the color names are separated by comma. Okay, so for this purpose we can create a Python list here. Okay, and in order to create a list we make use of this parenthesis. Okay, if you just type the first one, the other pair of these parentheses would be typed automatically by Jupyter notebook. Okay, so what happens, we make use of this parenthesis, so these all lists should be included in this. Okay, and the individual elements like blue is separated by comma with other one. Okay, so we can see all the elements are separated by comma. This is the syntax to create a Python list, and in order to give the name to this variable, I'll say lst underscore clr. This is the list of color. Okay, this is all we need to create a Python list. Just press shift enter from your Jupyter notebook and list would be created. Okay, otherwise you can press alt enter as well, and that would create a new line as well in Python list. Okay, now we are done through the definition of Python list. It is a simple variable which can hold more than one value. This is the example where I have created a Python list which holds more than one color name. Okay, now list have some features. We can store any type of data in the list. Okay, so what does it mean? It means we can create some other list, okay, which has mixed kind of data types. Okay, so let me just create one more list here, and this time I'll say lst underscore num, which contains some number. So I am using the same syntax. Okay, these parentheses and numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so the second list contains some numbers. Okay, and it has numbers from 1 to 9. But in Python it is not mandatory, in list it is not mandatory that it should hold the similar type of data variable. Okay, list can contain heterogeneous data variables. That means I can store integer as well as a string like this. Okay, so let me just create one more list of that type. So I'm inserting a new cell and I'll say lst underscore mxd, which contains some mixed type of data. Okay, and this time I'll say blue, and I'll say red, and 1 and 2. Okay, so you can see this time it is containing some string as well as some integer. Great. So this is the feature of list. We can store any type of data in the list. Now the elements of the list are changeable. We can perform add, insert, delete operations on the list. Okay, we will see this section later. Okay, in this course, how to insert, update and delete. But just to make a note that we can do all the operations on list item, these can be changed. Okay, Now list allows duplicate. So let me just create one more list, okay, just to show you that list allow duplicate elements as well. So let me just insert cell here, and the same list, in the same list I gonna store one more variable, one more element, which is blue. Okay, so let me insert blue twice. Okay, and you can see it is perfectly acceptable that list can hold duplicate values. Blue is appearing twice here now. Okay, now lists are ordered. So what does it mean? It means there is a sequence, there is an ordering of these elements in the list. Okay, blue is at this position, black is at this position, and those positions are decided by the index of the list. So what happens when we create a list? An index is assigned to all the elements in the list. Okay, so here you can see blue would be getting 0, black would be getting 1, orange is 2, red is 3, and green is 4. So in this is how the indexing happens in list. Okay, we can access the elements of list from the reverse side as well. So if I go to reverse side, green is the on the last side, right? Green is on the top of the right side, right? So here green would get -1. Okay, so let me just write that as well. If I reverse this from here, okay, green is -1. This time the indexing doesn't start from 0, rather it starts from -1. Okay, so -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. So this is the indexing from the reverse side of the list. So from the left side it starts from 0, and from the right side it starts from -1. And these indexes can be used for slicing operation of the list. Okay, we will see it later, but just to note that these indexes could be used for slicing operation of the list. Okay, so we have discussed some features of the list, and we are good to go to see other operations on list. Okay, so whatever contents you have seen, those contents are written here as a markdown text. Okay, in case you don't know what is markdown, you can go to a cell and change the cell type as markdown to appear that as an header to your code. Okay, now so all those contents are written here as markdown text, and we will see all the operations of the list one by one. Great. So first of all, we'll see how to print a list. Okay, so in order to print, I can just name the list. Okay, lst color, and I can press shift enter from Jupyter notebook, and that would print the elements of the list. Okay, otherwise I can use print a statement as well. So I can say insert new cell and use print method, and then print the list, and both are the same thing. If you are Jupyter notebook, both would do the same thing. Okay, now creation of list we have already seen, and printing we have seen. Okay, so let me just copy this one and print it here. This is how we print, and otherwise we can just name the list and we can print. Okay, now the next topic is check if given variable is type of list or not. Okay, so I have a variable lst color, and I want to know whether this is a type of list or not. Okay, so in order to know that, we can use type method in Python. So type, and inside the parenthesis I will pass the name of the variable. Okay, and that would tell me that whether given variable is list or not. Okay, so we can see this is a type of list. Great. Find the number of elements in the list. So in order to know that how many elements are there in the list, we can make use of len function. Okay, len, and then we can pass the name of the list. So lst, let me pass lst num, and we know there are 9 elements. So let me run it, and we can see the answer is correct. Great. Find the first element. So as we discussed about the indexing of the list, we know that the indexing starts from 0, and the first element is 0. Okay, so we can slice the list by making use of index, and we can say that the first element is this lst num. Okay, lst color, and then we can make use of these brackets again, and we can say that give me the element which is at index number 0. Okay, and that would give me the first element. Great. So it is blue, and we can see the answer is correct. The first element is blue. Great. So the next topic is find the last element of the list. So in order to find the last element, since we already know that what is the index of the last element, so either I can say LST color, and 4 is the index of the last element, right? So I can put 4 here, and we can see green is the last element. Otherwise, in case list is really long and I can't do a count on that, okay, what is the index of last element, or let's say I don't know what is the index of the last element, so I can make use of this index, reverse index, right? -1, -2, -3, and I can say -1 is the index of the last element, right? So I can say LST color and give me the data at the index number -1. So negative sign indicates here that I want to fetch element from the last or reverse side. Okay, great. So blue is the last element, and next topic is find the element at a particular index. Okay, so in order to get element at particular index, it is super easy, you guessed it. Okay, LST color and just provide the index number. So let's say I want to get the element at index number 3, I can put 3 here. Okay, and that's the answer. Now the index could be used for slicing as well. So let's say I want to get elements from position number 2 till 5. Okay, so what I can do, I can put a colon here in between this, and I can make use of same syntax. So I can say LST num, okay, and then these brackets, okay, give me the data from index number 2, which is a start position, and till 5, but not including 5. Okay, so what happens, this is a start and a stop, those are separated by these colons. Okay, so this start index would be included in this, but the stop one would not be included. It is up to a stop, right? So if I will write 5 here, I'll be getting the data till 4, not 5. Okay, so let me just run it and show it to you. You can see, so the element at index number 2 is 3, and therefore 4, and it went up to the index number 4, which is 5. Okay, you can see it from this example, the element at index number 0, 1, 2. So this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Okay, so the element at index number 5 is 6. Okay, but that 5 is not included here, so that means that the result is up to this index but not including this index. Okay, great. So let me just show you one more thing. In this kind of slicing operation, we can use negative symbol as well, and that indicate that I want to get the elements from the last of the reverse side. Okay, so I can say -2 and -5, and let's see what's happening here. Okay, you can see it is empty because you know -2 is greater than -5, so I'll have to reverse it. I'll have to say -5 and -2. Okay, and that's provide me the result using slicing operation. Now a start and a stop takes one more optional parameter, which is jump. Okay, so what's happening here actually, whenever I am telling a list to provide me elements from a start to a stop position, it is by default taking one jump parameter. Okay, and that is 1 by default. Okay, and it is showing me the elements consequently. Okay, so after 3 there is 4 and there is 5. But if I'll say get a jump of 2, so it will skip one element in between. Okay, and let me just write 2 here. What happens, you can see 4 is skipped here now. Okay, and that is because of this additional attribute here, which is jump. Okay, so the entire syntax is like this: a start, a stop, and therefore a jump. Great. So you can use any other parameter here. You can make this 2 as 4, 5, 6, whatever you want. Great. Now this slicing operation can be used for reversing a list as well. Okay, so our original list is LST num, and we can see the contents of this list. Let's say I want to reverse this list by making use of slicing operation. I don't want to use any other method but something some customized written function. Okay, so I can reverse it by slicing operation. What I can say, give me the element from starting, okay, and I am not mentioning anything here, so by default it would be 0. Okay, go till end, I am not mentioning anything here, so it will by default go till end, and the result would be whatever is there on the screen, the result would be same. Okay, you can see I am getting the elements from 1 to 9. So in case you are not specifying anything here, by default it takes the default value, right? But if I'll mention here -1, okay, then the jump is -1, so it will reverse everything, right? It will go here directly, because minus indicates the things in reverse order, right? So it will go to 9 and start printing the things in the reverse order. So this syntax would print everything in reverse order, and ultimately the list would be reversed. Okay, so let me just execute it. You can see the list is reversed and without using any method, and this is one of the most important questions asked in interview, that reverse a list without making use of any method. Okay, so let's proceed and see how to update the elements of a list. Okay, so we can update the elements of the list by making use of it index. So let me just print the list here first, which is lst color, and you can see the elements of the list is blue, black, and so on. Okay, so let's say I want to update the element red. Okay, so I should be knowing about the index of the this item, so I can say 1 2 sorry 0 1 2 and 3. This is 3. Okay, so in case you don't know what is the index of a particular element, you can make use of index method as well. So let's say I don't know the what is the index of red element here, so I can say lst color and I can make use of index method. Okay, and I can pass the element name inside it. Okay, and that would give me the position of the element. Okay, and later if I want to update it, I can say lst color, and inside that I can say index number 3. Okay, and update that as well. Okay, red is updated as red and updated. This is updated just to tell you that this item is updated. Okay, and let me just print this list one more time to see whether it is updated or not. So let's insert a new cell here. Okay, insert cell below and print it, so we can see that this element is updated. Okay, our next topic is appending elements to list. So in order to append element to list, we can simply make use of append method. So I can say lst color and dot append. Let me append one color here, which is yellow. Okay, and just execute it. Now let's print it to see whether or not this item was appended. Okay, and we can see that yellow is appended at the last of the list. Okay, so append method by default appends everything to the end of the list, but in case we want to insert or append something in the middle of this list, we can do that by making use of insert method. Okay, so if I'll say lst color dot insert, and inside that I'll pass two things. Okay, I'll pass index number, let's say 3. Okay, and let me insert blue one more time. Okay, and let me just print the list again to see whether or not this blue is inserted at index number 3. So lst color, and we can see that 0 1 2 and 3 at the index number 3, this blue is inserted again. So in case you want to just append your list, okay, and by default that would append everything at the end, you can make use of append method. And in case you want to insert a specific element at a particular index, you can make use of insert method. Great. Now how to delete an element? Okay, so we can make use of pop method. Okay, and by default if you don't pass any parameter to pop method, it will delete the element from the end. Okay, so let me just run it. I am not passing any parameter to pop method, and see what's happening here. Okay, it says that yellow is deleted, so yellow was the last element and by default it got deleted. We can provide index number to pop method, and that would delete the element at that particular index. So let's say I want to delete the element at index number 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, so if I'll say pop and 4, it will delete this element at index number 4. Okay, and let me just print this list one more time to see whether or not this element was deleted. Okay, you can see that that element is deleted now. Great. We can also remove element. Okay, we saw how to delete element by making use of pop and pop with an additional attribute. We can remove an element by making use of its name. So we can say list color and lst color and then remove this element which is black. Okay, and that would remove black from my list. So let me just print it to show whether or not this was removed. Okay, we can see black is no more there. Now the next topic is count the number of occurrence of an element in list. So let's say I want to count that how many times blue is appearing in this list. So I can say lst color and then count. Okay, and I can pass the name of the element, and that's saying that blue is 3 times in the list. Okay, so 1 2 and 3. Okay, that's how we count the number of occurrence of an element in the list. Great. Now insert more than one elements in list. So we have already seen that how to insert elements using append method and insert method. But in case I want to insert more than one elements, then how can we do that? Okay, so we can make use of extend method for that. So if I'll say lst color and dot extend. Okay, and now I know that I am gonna pass more than one element. So again for that I'll have to make use of list. Okay, these parentheses, these brackets, and inside that I can write some name of color. Okay, see green, and that would extend the elements in my original list which is lst color. So let me run it. Okay, and let me just print it again. We can see these elements were extended in our list, and this is how we extend our list by more than one element. Okay, and find the index of an element in the list, we have already covered it, and you guessed. Okay, lst color, and I can say index. Okay, and then pass the name of the element. Okay, and that would give me the index of the element which is this. Okay, now reverse the elements of a list. We have already seen how to reverse using slicing operation, but in case we want to use any method, we can say lst color and dot reverse, and that would reverse the elements in the list. We can print it one more time. Okay, so let's print the list in order to see whether or not it is reversed. We can see the list is reversed now. Now to find the element max element, the value for which is max, we can use max function. So max, and inside that let's pass the name of the list which is lst num. We know that 9 is the max element, and we can see the value of the max element. Okay, in similar way, if we want to find the mean value, we can say mean, and inside that the name of the list. Great. In order to sort the list, we can apply sort function. Okay, and let's apply that. So lst num, and if I'll say sort, okay, and apply that and print it again to see whether or not this is done. Okay, so we can see the list is sorted. So this is ascending order sort. Okay, in case we want to sort it in descending order, I can make one additional attribute. I can put one additional attribute in sort function, which is reverse is equal to true. Okay, and that would sort my list in descending order. So lst num, and if I print it, I can see the list is sorted in descending order. Great. In order to concatenate two lists, we can concatenate by making use of plus symbol. So if I'll say list 1 2 and 3, 1 to 4, okay, and 3 7 9, these are two lists. If I want to concatenate it, okay, we can do that by making use of plus symbol. Okay, we can see these two lists are concatenated. If we multiply a list by a number, okay, the list would be printed as many times as that number. Okay, so if I'll multiply this list by 2, this list would be repeated twice. Okay, So I can see 1 to 4 and 1 to 4 is repeated twice. So that is how multiplication works on a list. If I want to check that whether or not an element exists in a list, okay, I can do it in following ways. For a in, okay, so let me check that whether or not blue is there in list. So blue in lst color, and that would return true because blue is there in the list. Okay, so I'm just changing it and making blue a small, okay, and that would return false because this word is not there in list color. Okay, so this is how we check whether or not a particular element exists in a list. Now in order to iterate through a list, we use for loop. So I can say for items in lst color, okay, print items, okay, and that is how we iterate through list. Great. In order to copy a list, we can make use of copy method. So let's say lst color is there and I want to copy this to some other list. So I can say a equal to lst color dot copy, okay, and that's how a becomes the copy of the list lst color. Okay, so we can see a has the elements of this original list. Great. In order to clear the elements of a list, we can say lst color and clear method, okay, and that would clear all the elements inside the list. Let's check it whether or not the elements are cleared. So lst color and print it. We can see this list is empty now, it doesn't have any element. In order to delete a list, we can make use of del command, okay, and del lst color, that would delete this variable. Okay, if I'll try to print this variable again, I'll see that this variable doesn't exist anymore. So you can see lst color, if I'm trying to print it, I'll get an error that this list is not defined. Great. Now we'll talk about important topic of list, which is one of the most asked question in interview, and that is list comprehension. So list comprehension is easy method to do perform some operation on all the elements of list. Okay, so let's say that we have a list here lst num, and I want to multiply all the elements of this list by 2. Okay, so either I can write a for loop. So I can say for items in lst num and print items into 2, okay, and that would print the result by multiplying all the elements by 2, right? In order to store the result, I'll have to declare one more list here. So let's say a equal to this, and in order to store it, I'll have to say a dot append, okay, and then items into 2, okay, and later when we print a again, we can see that a is the list of the list num, okay, after multiplying all the elements of this list with 2. But these entire codes can be replaced in just one line. I can just say I for I in the list, which is lst num, I can say I into 2 because I want to multiply all the elements by 2. Okay, and that would provide me the result. Okay, in order to store this into a list variable, I'll have to make use of list brackets here. Okay, you can see the list is multiplied, this list lst num, all the elements of it is multiplied by 2, and the result is returned back to me. In order to store it in a variable, I'll say b equal to I into 2 for I in lst num, okay, and that would give me the list after multiplying all the elements of lst num by 2. Okay, great. So this is everything about the list which you need to learn, and I hope this tutorial was helpful. In case if you find this helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, if I have missed anything, then please comment that out. If you have any question or anything, any suggestion, please let me know in the comment section. And in order to do hands-on, you can download this Jupyter notebook from the link which I have given in description box. See you soon.